if you go to OpenAI's documentation and you say, I want to build an agent, right? I want to embed it in my application, they're going to direct you to the responses API because they're like, this is the better protocol to use for what we're building. And then the SDK will sit, it will be like a companion layer, like it helps the API, right? It doesn't replace API, which I did not know. I thought of them as being mutually exclusive. And with the responses API, they said that there are advantages to tracking statefulness. I immediately went to what we've been talking about here, Carlos, which is this like, how do we, have a natural language conversation with a user and extract the key data, sanitize that data, and then use that in the actually application in real time as we take this user like through a journey, right? Or have them, interact more meaningfully or intentionally with the tool that we're putting out there.
So yeah, basically what I've been working on is moving this to an agent.
Interesting.
But this works awesome. Like, look, this is the conversation.
Really?
Well, whatever. Welcome. I said peer reviewing. I made up some numbers here. Got it.
Okay.
Between 0.3 and 3.5 hours. How many? 30. And it was just getting the information. I got Camila and I here. The incomes, the extra. Anyway, so one good thing. It got everything like from the first time because now it has it really has access to entire chat history and session. Else that's like useful is that now we have a chat history that I can do something like this that is reloading and asking the agent, give me the task you gave me for my
PR review.
This should work. There is.
Oh wow, it just pulled everything back up. Okay, nice.
We can change if we want to, for example, change the time from 14 minutes to 1 hour.
Amazing. So do this. Can you do this? Hold on. This is the test. This is where I think that like a necessity. Ask it to explain the $4,160 labor cost. Where did you get that value? See what it says.
This will work.
You think it will?
Yep.
It's funny. I am 100% sure that probably it's easier for the person just change the values like manually. The people
Correct.
To use the chat.
But here's the thing, and this is something. This is on me. This is where I need to massage the context for the agent, because the agent needs to be explaining the nuance and the details of each of these inputs, right? Because if you go to anyone, right, like there's the napkin calculation, which is on the homepage, right? It basically just says like, how much time does it take? How many times do you do it? How much does it cost? Right? And then we want to link this to say like, no, there's a better way of doing this, where now we're asking, okay, if you have a process that involves multiple people and those multiple people spend different amounts of time on average and they're paid different amounts, how do we get a true or effective cost to run this process? And then we can go, and that's where we want the agent to help shine some light to the user. We don't want to assume the user knows all these things. We want to basically say, look, there's another thing that we should consider here, which is like, if there's more people involved, we don't just have a hard number, or if there's risk or error rates that are going to be, decreasing or impacted, how do we quantify those? And so that's exactly why I think that the agent experience is critical. Is like, the agent is basically a consultant for them. Right? It's like a business consultant that says, let's help us quantify business impact based off of this thing that we're looking at automating.
But I think this is a prompting issue rather than an access issue, because I think maybe.
So this goes into the point that I was making previously, Carlos. First of all, awesome progress. This is great progress. This is why I needed to get this out of my plate into you, because you needed to take it this next step further. Is there an argument to be made around having a more sophisticated data schema that's not visible to the user? So if they say Carlos makes X, Camilo makes Y, they don't see it on the front end, but the agent is storing that information for future interactions or sessions, right? That's why I brought it up earlier, was just like, we might actually have to have this like shadow or more sophisticated thing that we're capturing that information, because we want to be able to pull it in and regurgitate it.
Maybe we don't.
You just think you put it in the context, just say, if someone tells you multiple people,
because it is so they should be able to go back and see where it got the information from.
Well, no, not if they refresh the page though. They don't get the chat history. You
Yeah.
just showed it, right? It just started a new conversation.
Yes, but I started a new conversation, getting information from another conversation. So this has like a session history and a user
Mhm.
history. So I mean, the chat history is here on an item. We should be able to read the information though. At the end, but we should be able to.
Okay. This is funny too, because this is exactly what we were gonna, like, we were talking about starting to build for, like, right? This was like the future state of them being able to interact with the document. Is like this is going to be a universally applicable.
I find basically one comment here is I find funny how simple this flow is. Which is super hard to.
Which is one reason that we should like have confidence that is like the right way of doing it, right? Because it does what we're asking, and it is as simple as it is. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
probably
The prompt is not even that long. There's
right.
a lot of prompt optimization here too.
Yeah. Okay. So what needs to be tested, or what do we need to drill into to make sure that we're continuing to like get it where it needs to be?
I mean, the next step would be maybe I publish this the new code and you can test this with like
Yes.
doing more examples. And if we find that this is working as expected, I'm using 4.0 by the way. Then the next thing would be wearing this up with the rest of the experience in the page. So instead of this memory, we should
We have unified memory, right?